Yo, Todd here, Sunny Valley Customs. Welcome back if you're back. Welcome if you're not. This video we're going to be working on a little something that I had no intentions of working on. But before we do that, I'm going to give you a little backstory. I'm going to go on a rant. I will try to keep my rant short, but I get really irritated, so I'm probably going to ramble on. Anyway, so how we got here. Early June, my wife got in a car accident with her Tesla. She ran a red light and another car, T-boned her. For all you anti-Tesla people, anti-autonomous vehicle, anti-electric vehicle, whatever, it was 100% her fault, not the car's fault, so we can just squash that right now. So she got a car accident. Luckily, everybody was fine, which is obviously the most important part. Both vehicles were still drivable. When I got there, my wife's car, looking at it, looked like it needed passenger doors, the rocker panel, and the B pillar was kind of screwed up. I filed a claim like right away with my insurance company. Unfortunately, like the week I filed the claim, they got cyber attacked. So my insurance company did absolutely nothing for probably a month, if not longer. I finally took my car in. You have now with Teslas, it has to be a certified mechanic. They will not sell body panels to just anybody. They will only sell the body panels to whoever is a certified Tesla body repair, whatever shop. So I took it there. It's called Fable in Appleton. They're awesome people. I would highly, highly, highly recommend taking your vehicle there, regardless if it's a Tesla or not. They were awesome. They were great through the whole process. So I took it there to get fixed. They ordered all the parts. They started the work. I think they already replaced the B pillar and stuff. And then once they got into the floor, they found more damage. So then my adjuster had to come look at it again because they needed more money to fix it. Long story short, they scrapped it or totaled it out, total loss. So I'm down a Tesla. I tried to buy it back, or I wanted to buy it back, I should say, but they wanted like $11,000 for the car, which to me was just outrageous. I would have body swapped it on something, or even honestly, if I could have got it for a few grand, I probably would have cobbled it together and drove it myself, although it would have had a salvage title, and I don't know what it takes to, or what I can do to register it again to drive it on the road legally. I've never done that before. But in the meantime, I figured my wife can drive this fine Swedish turbo luxury sedan here, right? And she did. Until something happened. She called me and told me it was smoking, and I was kind of like, whatever. I know it might leak a little oil. It's probably just oil on the exhaust. No big deal. Nah, it wasn't that. Turns out it was overheating. She then called me and told me it died. So I went on a recovery mission to go get it. I started it. It didn't sound great. And it said low coolant. So I checked it. Yeah, it's low. Went and got a couple gallons, put a gallon in it, and it immediately pissed it out the radiator. So the radiator's got a hole in it. So I went and I bought an El Cheapo Chinese $80 Amazon special radiator to replace this one. Now, my wife overheated this thing until it wouldn't run anymore. Okay? Like it was sluggish, barely running. She barely got it into a parking lot. So there's a good chance that this engine is no bueno. Now, by the time I took my trailer, picked it up, brought it home, and it cooled off, it runs great, sounds great. That doesn't mean that it is still okay. I don't know. I'm hoping that these fine Swedish people figured some yuppie lady is probably going to overheat the shit out of this thing, so we better give her 2 or 3 good overheats before we blow head gaskets or seize it up. That's what I'm hoping. And I don't know that until, unfortunately, I put a radiator in it and get it up to operating temperature, drive it around a while, and see if it's going to stay together. So long story short, we're putting a radiator in this 04 Volvo S80 turbo 2.4 liter T for turbo luxury sedan. That's the plan. I already watched a little YouTube video on how to do this, and it looks like a major pain in the ass. So let's get started. My standard microphones that I usually wear died, so trying out a different one. So sorry if the audio quality is crappy. Now, like I said, I did watch a YouTube video on how to take one of these radiators out. This is a little different model, but more or less all the same. Now, this radiator has to come out the bottom, which should be fun without a lift. You got to get it up high enough, obviously, to get it out. Now, there's also a whole bunch of shit intermingled up here. You got, obviously, the radiator. Inside the radiator is a tranny cooler. On the front of the radiator is the AC condenser, and then there's an oil cooler, and then you have an intercooler. So, yeah. So I'm going to start by taking, well, I already did actually, rip all this wiring out, take the upper radiator hose off, pull the charge pipe off. I already unplugged one of the tranny lines, which dumped tranny fluid all over the floor, so we can lay in that later. Yeah, pull the dipstick out, which my dipstick is missing the dip stick. It's actually right here. So you check the oil in this rig. I usually have this in the back seat or in the trunk. But you get yourself a forceps. Make sure it's the locking one. Don't just use the pliers. Hook that on there. Get her locked in tight. Stick her in. Pull her out. If it's wet, you're good. If it's not, you add. Quantity, don't worry about it. So tonight I'm literally just going to try to pull apart everything I can reach, and then tomorrow, most likely, because I don't know how long I'm going to work on this tonight, it's already like 9:30, 10 o'clock, we'll jack it up and hopefully get it pulled out the bottom, get the new one in, and go from there. So I'm probably just going to time lapse this because microphone issues and whatever, and I just really want to just work on this and get this done. So I'll probably see you tomorrow after this time lapse. Well, I've gotten farther than I expected I would have. It's actually going really smooth and really easy, which means something bad is most likely going to happen. I got everything disconnected that I could from the top. I crawled underneath. I had to take off like a piece of plastic fairing thing. The video I watched, there was actually like a skid plate that went in this cross member somehow. Mine doesn't have that, which is great. Mine also looks like it doesn't have some of the hoses that he struggled with, which is also great. Now we got the radiator, the intercooler, and then the condenser here, and they all get bolted together from 4 bolts. One here somewhere, and 2 on the top. I got those out, but it's still hung up in there because there's 2 bolts now that hold the whole radiator, which one's here and one's up in here, holds the whole radiator and everything else up there. Now I got 2 bungee straps connected to the intercooler wrapped around the top, hooked up there somewhere. So I'm hoping that when I take these 2 bolts out, the bungee straps will hold this up, and there's an intercooler pipe that's still connected, so hopefully it doesn't want to fall over. I don't know. So I'm going to take these 2 bolts out. It's not just going to fall out because that radiator is like wrapped around everything else, so it's still going to be a pain to get it out. But more or less, we're about to do it. And if this goes smoothly, I honestly might put this all together, back together, tonight yet. Okay, now, how does this come out of here? Ow! Here we go. Maybe. Okay. Old one is out, baby. Got the old radiator out. It's split from about this neck all the way down to about here. I don't know if the car overheated, built up a bunch of pressure, and then blew this out, or if this plastic, being old, finally got brittle, cracked, and then obviously leaked the fluid out and car overheated. I have no idea, but we are where we are. So I need to transfer these clips and those mounts to the new one, and then try to fight that into here. Here's my rubber snubbers hooked on the top, and then they go down, hook on the intercooler, which seemed to work okay. If I can get that put in tonight, I'd be happy, and then tomorrow it'd just be literally buttoning up stuff. Be pretty quick. So I'm gonna get that stuff transferred over and then see if I can fight that one in by myself. Okay, got that stuff transferred over. Now let's see if we can finagle this up there. I think I kind of want to do, oh boy, try not to beat the crap out of all these fins. If I was jacked up a little higher, it would help. Whoa, lost the snubber. Is that where it's supposed to be? Must be. Okay, now all this stuff. Oh, you bastard. I'm going to put some of these M6s in that go through the radiator and actually hold everything together. While it's all loose. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in this transmission cooler line, which goes in here. Unfortunately, I don't know where the hell it is. Way up there. This line is really nasty and I should probably clean this up. Let me do that first. Okay. So this line just has O-rings on it, and then it has this clip. So these literally just push in. To get them out, you just push in these tabs and pull out. This one was really in there. It took me a minute to get it out. I'm gonna pull this down just so I don't get it somewhere it shouldn't be. Okay, that should be fine. If I should go underneath this maybe. No. Anyway, push this in. Should probably lube those O-rings up. It doesn't seem right. Yeah, it is. There it goes. Okay, I don't know. This hole almost seems smaller. I'm gonna put a little looby-dooby on those. And by looby-dooby, I literally mean looby-dooby. Puddin's Fab Shop Special. It's expensive, but I had to get some because my dad always said looby-dooby because of puddin'. Doesn't seem right. Oh. That should be fine in the transmission fluid. That does not want to go in there. Let me try the top one. See if I can come back to this. Well, we may still be in business. These oil cooler lines will not go inside there. I noticed this one has a hex head on it. So I went to the old radiator with the channel locks, and by God, these actually thread out. Now there's an O-ring on here, and it's not in the best shape. Well, this one especially is not in good shape. But I'm going to take this one out, and if these are the right thread, should work. Should. So let's take a look. And I was thinking, nah, that ain't gonna happen. But now that I have these out, I don't have a bit that big. I was gonna say I could drill this out. I measured this with a caliper, and it's 532, 535, something like that. Fortunately, I think I only have 1/2-inch drill bits. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. I bet you this thread's on here though. Of course it does. Okay. Well. Not a chance. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Well. How am I going to get creative? What I just actually did was I took, this one is really corroded on the inside. So I took a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper and put it on the shank of a drill bit and just cleaned it up in here. Is it possible that I could open this up a bit? I don't know. Good morning. Well, afternoon. I think it's like 1 o'clock already. Transmission lines. I've been working on this since like 8 this morning. So what I've been doing is boring this hole out. How I've been doing that is I've been taking a drill bit, wrapping sandpaper around the bit, and then just hogging her out. I started with 1000 grit. I was getting nowhere. I went to 600. I was getting nowhere. I went to 400. I was getting somewhere. I ran out of 400 and I ended up at 320. Okay? But I finally got these bored out enough to where the metal lines fit through here. I actually have the top one all done, all installed. I got to do the bottom. However, there possibly could have been an easier way to do this. Now, hypothetically, say somebody had like a big machine, like a milling machine, that not everybody has in their garage. And you could take like a boring bar, call it, something like this, that has a cutting edge in it, and then you can adjust this by the thousandth till you get your diameter. Then you could like chuck this up in there, center it with your fitting, run her through once. We're probably only got to take off 2-3 thousandths. It wouldn't take long. Or you could just wrap sandpaper around a drill bit and waste 4 hours of your life. Sucks being stupid. So as I was messing around with these lines, I broke one of these plastic clips that hold the line in the fitting, like so. I went to O'Reilly. I got a Dorman style one. This is actually probably GM. They look pretty damn similar. I think it'll work. However, the inner diameter was a little small, so I had to drill that out. Then the outer diameter was too big to go into here. We're in like full-blown hack mode at this point. But I think it might work. So what I need to do is put this fitting on here now, if I can get it on. Oh, look at that. It slid right on. I did a good job. And then I took these O-rings off of here because I didn't want to ruin them. Put those back on. You can't see any of this, and I apologize. So those are on there. And now we can attempt to thread this back on the cooler and try to stuff this line in there. And hopefully, I should just try this right now. That's what I should do. See, now this is still too big. But can I force it? Oh, no, I cannot. So I got a little more cutting to do. So I was actually able to get that clip in there, and it holds pretty good. It actually works just fine. But I'm going to try to thread this on with this all installed. However, I didn't lube up those O-rings, of course. Yeah, something like that might help. Maybe get some in the back. I gotta put an O-ring on this end here. Hopefully I can get this threaded on there. If I can see what I'm doing. I got her. Okay. Okay, it's tight, It's on there. It's not coming out. The chances of that not leaking are slim to none, but it's there. Okay, so now put this lower hose on while I'm down here. Okay. Of course I don't have a screwdriver. Okay. Give her one more, two more, three more, one more. Okay. Finally, transmission lines are on. Lower radiator hose is on. Now I can go back up to the top. I should put that plastic thing on here, but I want to run it before I put that on. Go back up to the top and start installing everything else. So I think I'm going to attempt to put all this intercooler piping in before I put the fan in. I don't know if that's a smart move, because I don't know if it's going to clear everything. But wouldn't be right if you didn't do it twice. So stuff this down in here. Wiring for sure needs to go over there. These plastic pieces, I think there was one on top and one on the bottom. I have no idea where they go. So they're not going back on. Okay. Now we can try to get that electric fan stuffed down in here. Hopefully it will fit. Hopefully we don't snag any wires. I don't remember this wiring harness being so tight up here. For now, it will be okay. This literally just slides down. Yep, that intercooler pipe is going to be in the way. Shit. Actually, oops. Yeah, just. I think actually if this radiator hose wasn't on here, it would maybe. That intercooler pipe's in the way. Jesus Christ. Okay, more or less starting over. Put this in first. And these just have two tabs on the bottom that this slides into. And then on the top it's got two bolts. If you can get it there. Oh. Oh. And if you can see what the hell you're doing. Okay, there's one snapped in. Or broke, one of the two. Well, the camera battery died, which was probably a good thing because my temper rose a little bit. I broke the clips that hold the fan on the bottom of the radiator to the radiator. Them are gone. I ended up drilling holes in the plastic and putting some zip ties on it to hold it tight. The bolts up on top that actually hold the fan to the radiator, I accidentally put those here. So I had to take those out, put those in there, but as I was doing that, the nut inside the radiator fell out. Took me an hour to find that. And then one of the bolts flew out into this area that took me another hour, and let's just say I had to regroup a little bit. But we're back in business where I was an hour ago. So this can get put back on, this can get put back on, and at that point, we're done. Yeah, we're done. And I gotta tighten that clamp up. So let's get this done. It's always something, I tell ya. When we had the car on the trailer on my way back, my wife goes, well, I guess I'll be getting a new car sooner than I thought. Joke's on you. Well, I guess. I don't even know if this thing's going to run or hold together. I like car shopping, don't get me wrong. I just like car shopping when it's for me and they don't cost $50,000. But it is what it is. I got, what, 10 cars? She has technically 2, I guess. Which one of them I need to finish. And she's up my ass about it. But yeah. I feel like this hose should probably be replaced, but not going to happen today. Okay, back to this one now. Okay. Just need to tighten up that clamp back there, and then we can start putting fluid in this thing. Okay, I got everything put back on, including that skid plate fairing piece or whatever I said I wasn't going to put on. It says top off with Volvo coolant. Well, this is universal, so I would expect it to be just fine. So we'll fill this bad boy up. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. I don't know how much this takes. Missed. But I'm just gonna keep filling it until it's full, I guess. I'll fire it up for a minute. If you're one of the people that are thinking to yourself, hey, while you're into it that far, you should probably change the thermostat. Yeah, I probably should have changed the thermostat, but I didn't, and I'm not going to. That's probably the reason this thing overheated in the first place, honestly. Fire it up, even though I don't think it's going to... God damn it. Check our tranny fluid lines too now that it's running. Dry. That level will stay the same until the thermostat probably opens up. Sounds smooth, but we'll see what happens once we get it up to temperature. I did buy more transmission fluid because we dumped out about a quart, well, I don't know, half a quart maybe, when I replaced the radiator because the tranny cooler is in there. However, the dipstick is all the way down here, so to fill it will be a blast if it's low. This dipstick does have cold and hot lines on it, so you can check it while it's cold. For those people that ripped on me on the Will It Run, or not even Will It Run, I think that was when we picked up Travis's Caprice. People were just flipping out. You obviously didn't watch the whole video, and you weren't listening to what I was saying. So, it's okay. Could use a little bit, but it's not too bad. Be good enough for like a test drive. For those of you that watched the cam seal replacement video that I did, turns out the PCV system on this is junk. It's all plugged up. So the engine was building pressure and pushing it out of the cam seal. So what I actually ended up doing was just drilling some holes in this cap, because I'm not replacing that system. It's expensive and you got to take a lot of shit apart to get to everything, and this is not worth the money for me to do that. So honestly, we probably should just go drive it, get it up to temperature, and then check the coolant then. I can bring a gallon or two with me, so maybe that's what we'll do. It's raining out like a SOB right now. It's been raining all day, so I think that's what we'll do. Take her for a little cruise. Just as I backed down the driveway, I got a message saying the coolant was low. So I ran up in here quick again so I wouldn't have to stand out in the rain, fill this up. I find it odd that the cooling fan is not running. Don't seem right. Okay, let's go. Well, so far so good. Temperature is straight up and down, midway, whatever. Runs great, sounds good, it's not missing, it's not lugging. Kind of surprised. But I'll just keep driving it and see what happens. Well, I'd say the Volvo is back. Staying cool, running great, it's not missing, shifts great. Everything's good. Honestly, I can't believe it. I expected something else to be wrong with it, and then that's what blew the radiator out. And I expected this motor to have a blown head gasket or something else. I told my wife it's probably junk, so you're gonna have to drive my truck. But now she gets the Volvo back, and she can drive this until we find her a car and finish all the insurance crap. But yeah, I'm gonna run this over to my buddy's house. They're Cerakoting some Second Amendment items, I guess you'd call them. And I'll catch up with you guys later. Good morning. The Volvo, she's back. Runs great. I have to give a big shout out to the Swedish makers of the Volvo, because my wife overheated the living hell out of that thing to the point where it wouldn't run anymore. It was sluggish, and I'm guessing it was about to seize up. But somehow, some way, it's okay. That kind of rhymed. 50 Cent coming after you. Yeah, I'm surprised. If it can make it another 2 weeks, I'd be really happy with that. Because by then, we'll probably have my wife a new car, and I won't need that until the next time I need it. But I did put like, I don't know, 50 miles on it yesterday with no issues. Ran over to my buddy's house, who was doing some Second Amendment Cerakoting stuff. I was kind of hesitant to put that stuff in the video because of the politics around it and all that stuff. However, this is things that I like. I will show things that I like. I'm not gonna change me for the videos, if that makes any sense at all. But if you're interested in any of that stuff, my buddy Forrest, he owns Alpaca Tactical. He can do anything. Cerakoting, powder coating, he does like vinyl stuff, he does 3D printing, he has a laser etcher, he's got machining, a mill, a lathe. He can do pretty much anything. I know he's done a lot of car parts, he's done a lot of Harley parts, he's done a lot of everything, more or less. So if you're interested and you want anything done by him, check out his, I think he has Facebook for Alpaca Tactical. I'll put his stuff in the description, so pricing, I don't know, that's not my business, that's all his. Also, my buddy Taylor, he has, I don't even know how to say it, I'll be honest with you. It's a Odocoileus Death Squad. I don't really know what it is. But he does tiki-takis, he does the Instagrams, all that garbage. I believe eventually he's going to be doing, like, I shouldn't say too much because I don't really know, I'm not part of it. But I think he's going to be doing giveaways for like Cerakoting. Just throwing it out there. So follow him on Instagram, TikTok, check out his stuff. Again, I'll put that in the description below. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I got nothing more to say. I do have to go pick up 2 more vehicles. You'll see that in the future. But for the rest of the day today, unfortunately, I have to do a whole bunch of tile work, which I'm not enthused to do at all. So I need to get to work on that. First, I think every project starts with a drink. I'm gonna do that. Catch you on the next one. I forgot to say, thank you to everybody that has subscribed. I'm finally over 1,000 subs. I think it's like 1140 something now. I can finally start making a little bit of money off these videos to put money into projects. It's nothing substantial, trust me, but any little bit helps, and I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody that has subscribed. If you like these videos and you're coming back and watching these videos, please subscribe. But again, thank you. And yes, I'm coming. I gotta go.